What if I told you that the reason you're not closing deals has nothing to do with your script, has nothing to do with your tonality, it even has nothing to do with your objection handling? What if the real reason is a behavior pattern that's been with you your entire life, silently following you through every single moment? One that's making you physically incapable of saying what you need to say, what you want to say, what you feel called to say inside of your sales calls. I know this pattern deeply because it cost me hundreds of deals. It's cost me really important relationships in my life and sleepless nights, chaotic life. Like, it literally has cost me a ton. So I know this one better than just about anybody. And today I'm gonna break it down for you. Now, if you find yourself listening to monologues from your prospects, getting mowed down when they talk about irrelevant stuff, if you're tolerating vague, low quality language from your prospects, and you're just accepting surface level answers, if you're finding yourself super frustrated after your calls because you just know that you had more in the tank and you know that you kept your conversation surface level and that there were 3 or 4 layers deeper that you could have gone, or maybe you shut down when someone has a strong personality, they're an A-type, they're a driver, and your whole nervous system just completely crumbles, then this pattern is costing you right here, right now. If you're a remote high-ticket closer or a coach, or you want to learn how to get into remote high-ticket sales, then this video is for you. And by the end of this video, we're going to go over a couple of things. One is the single mindset shift that you're going to need to move out of people-pleasing into being a more direct challenger type sale. And also 3 tactics that actually help you broach tough conversations and move out of people-pleasing and into direct conflict, where the juice lies, where you can actually have a meaningful sales conversation that not only changes your prospect's life, but helps change your life, where you guys win together. Because ultimately, making more sales isn't just about word tracks. Those are easy to find. It's about having the nervous system and the capacity to become a 20, 30K per month closer, someone who is not affected by these things, someone who is unbothered, someone who is grounded, no matter what kind of chaos and what kind of storm is going on outside of you. By the way, guys, if we haven't met yet, my name is Mason. I've been in remote high-ticket sales since 2020. I've closed over $7 million online. I've worked for top influencers in the space like Taylor Conroy, Jeremy Miner, Sarah Turner, Jay Feldman, Andrew Cruzy. Like, I have gone on and I've absolutely dominated in this space. I've always been a top of the leaderboard performer, and I attribute that to learning how to regulate my nervous system, learning how to stay in that calm space. It wasn't always this way, right? I was 100% a people pleaser when I got into sales, and I did not know that. And if you guys don't know what people pleasing is, we're actually gonna walk through, I pulled Claude, the definition exactly. So here's what Claude gave. It's a behavioral pattern where you prioritize others' needs, preferences, and feelings at the expense of your own needs, your own boundaries, and authentic desires. So most of us are so conditioned from our parents, from society, from life to basically suppress our authentic desires, to suppress our authentic thoughts and feelings, to suppress pretty much everything, right? To just control. And most people are walking around stifled, hesitant, pretty much verbally constipated. Like, they just cannot let it out. They can't speak up. They have a voice inside of them and it is completely trapped. You know what to say, you know it's the right thing to say, but fear runs you and you stay silent. And the fear is the people-pleasing pattern, right? And that is a mechanism that you probably got from when you were younger, right? We don't need to go into the therapy side of things. We don't need to go into the whole background of it, but it is something that at some point in your life served you. But I can guarantee you that you are an adult, you are in sales, you have relationships. People-pleasing is not serving you now. So let's dive into it. Let's unpack it together. The biggest thing I see is there's like one core lie, and it's a false binary keeping you stuck, which is either I choose to get mowed down by my prospects, I let them run the show, or I run the show in a way that's, I don't want to say being a bully, but just overly direct and just bulldozing people, right? And the truth lies in the middle, right? The top tier reps, they find the line right through the middle of both and, where they are direct, but they're also gentle. And when you can learn how to walk that line, you are going to absolutely crush it. And as long as you only see 2 options, you're gonna either be this rep where one day you're pissed off and you're overly aggressive, or you swing to the other side and you're overly passive. And I see this on my reps calls sometimes, where if they haven't mastered their art of conflict, of not being a people pleaser, of boundaries, then they essentially swing really far to overcompensate to both sides. They have a really bad day, now they're like, I'm gonna be aggressive, I'm gonna be a badass. They have a really bad day where people mow them over, they're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be passive, I'm just gonna relax. And they can't actually stay on the center line in between the two. And that's what we're gonna go down through today, guys. So I want you to write this down: nice versus kind. This is a core distinction. Nice versus kind. They are not the same thing. So imagine a doctor for a second. You go into a doctor's office and, heaven forbid, I'm not actually putting this on you, but like if you had cancer, or you had some sort of kidney failure, or you had some sort of heart disease, and the doctor, it just feels like being nice, not kind. He feels like being nice. It's like, I'm just, I don't need to tell you about the diagnosis. I'm just gonna tell you everything's fine, because I don't wanna ruffle your feathers. I don't wanna upset you. I don't wanna hurt your feelings. That would be absolutely insane. Would you ever respect that kind of person? Would you ever trust that kind of person? Absolutely not. Now, I know this is an extreme example, and this is what's happening in your sales conversations. People don't respect you because you are being that kind of doctor, where you see it, you know it, you feel it, but you don't speak up because you are afraid of what their feelings might be, as if their feelings are some sort of permanent thing that's gonna do permanent damage to them and to you. It's not, I promise. Your prospects deserve a leader. You deserve to be a leader. Your prospects deserve someone who is kind, not nice. So just note that down. Now here's a couple of the shifts, right? If you want to move from being the nice guy or the nice girl into being a kind, assertive yet respectful human being, first thing we gotta do is shift our perspective on what it means to be a salesperson, right? For a lot of people, if I look to like kind of the old model, they think it means to be a friend, to be friendly, to be liked, to know a bunch about their product. And all these things can be true, but at the core of it, you're not there to get them a product. Obviously, that's the outcome that happens. You were there to help this person make a serious change in their life. And I just want to preface this because that sounds a bit dramatic, but if you sell in the remote high ticket closing space, you're most likely selling some sort of transformational program, right? This isn't like a trinket. It's like something that could actually change someone's life dramatically. And because of that, yeah, your job really is to go out there and change lives. And when I think about moving out of being this person who's just here to sell somebody or be likable into being someone who is there to help somebody, there's a set of rules from Taylor Welch. And I was just at SalesCon in April this year and hearing Taylor Payton speak, absolutely incredible. But there's 3 rules that Taylor talks about. And he's been harping on this for years, but I felt like in this video, it's absolutely essential that you hear it. 1, help the person make the best decision for them. That's the first rule of sales. Second rule of sales, what's best for them is outside of their comfort zone. And the third rule is prospects will fight like hell to stay inside their comfort zone. And when you understand that framework, especially when you're selling coaching, I want to contextualize this. Like, this is very much for remote high ticket closing, selling info and selling coaching packages. These rules make sense because you're gonna see it. If you're selling to people who have all these limiting beliefs, if you're selling to people who are procrastinating, you best believe all of that is gonna come up. And I guess at the core of it, it just comes down to, what do you think helping actually is? Is it just being there and just listening to them? Is that helping them? If they just dump their story and just emotionally dump on you and nothing changes, they take no new action, you give them no new perspective, you don't challenge them, that's not helping people. I can remember sales calls where the prospect absolutely did not buy, but I know that night when they went to bed, they were thinking through their life because I opened up loops, I offered new perspectives, I challenged the way they think, and it was a pattern interrupt to their status quo, the hypnosis they're sleeping in. That's a big part of what we do in sales, guys, is essentially knock people out of a day-to-day hypnosis of the status quo. So top tier salespeople, what they do is they essentially help prospects gather the info, the thoughts, the perspectives, and clarity to get what they want. And what a gift that is that you get to give to people as a salesperson, is the clarity to help them make the best decisions to get the best results and outcomes for their life. That's freaking awesome, guys. Like, you literally get to empower people. That is your job all day, every day. And if that doesn't resonate for you, then you should probably go get in a different career. Maybe go into coding or something like that, like not people facing, because that is the game. That is what we do. Now, we'll move into a couple of the skills. The reason I bring up these 3 skills is because most commonly these are the misses that I see on calls. And it's not because my reps that I see don't know that it's an issue. It's because there's a part of them that won't let them speak up, right? That's the people pleaser. It's the fear, it's the voice, it's the mind saying, don't hurt them, don't ruffle their feathers. Like, it's that these behaviors correlate directly to it. So the first skill we're gonna go into is, if you want to be direct and you want to challenge people more, you need to learn how to have permission-based conversations, like getting consent to go there. Some people will just bypass that and go straight to direct, but if you are a people pleaser, you're not going to be able to do that very well. You're not going to, if you have that tendency from the past, you need some tools to bridge the gap to get into a direct conversation. And the first one is like right here is permission. So what does it do? Permission is like before going direct with the prospect, I use a question to basically get permission to go into that situation. And the reason we do it is two things. One, I want to drop the guard, which allows us to maintain suggestibility. And two, I want to ensure that the prospect clearly sees and knows before I deliver this info to them that it's framed in their best interest, that it's not just me being a dick, that there's a reason why I'm doing it. And this is how I've learned as a people pleaser. Well, I don't identify as one anymore, but in the past, this is how I learned how to have difficult conversations, even though I had people-pleasing tendencies, is using permission. And it worked incredibly well for me. And when I break it down in terms of a framework, we'll go over some examples here, but when I break it down, there's permission, context, truth slap, and a temp check. So permission might be something like, hey, can I share what's coming up for me? Or it could be something like, can I share a perspective on that? Or can I communicate something to you without you getting upset with me? Or can I speak to you like I would a friend? Or hey, can I put on my coaching hat here for a second and just like human to human have an honest conversation with you? Is it okay if I tell you what you need to hear, even if it's not what you want to hear? Are you sure? And then I give context. So those were examples of permission. Then I give a context. And the reason I ask, or the reason I'm sharing this is, and maybe I'll share a short story, or maybe I'll share 2 or 3 quick reasons, but I will frame it so they know that there's a reason why I'm going here, and they don't have to guess the reason why I'm going here. Because if the prospect actually has to guess why I'm gonna go there and why I'm doing something that could be perceived as abrasive, then they are gonna assume a negative meaning. So I'm going to preempt that, and I'm going to tell them the meaning of it before they have a chance to assign a meaning to it, so that we stay with the guard down and they stay open and receptive to something that otherwise would have potentially triggered both of us. If we can speak to it with context beforehand, it's gonna keep my nervous system calm and it's gonna keep their nervous system calm, so we actually stay in communication. That's the context. The third piece is the truth slap. That's where you deliver the truth, the thing that is uncomfortable. You actually share it. Things like, hey, I hear that you say you wanna do it, but over the last few years, based on what we've covered, you have taken 0 action. Then there's the temp check after that, which is checking in on whatever we were sharing, whatever perspective we gave, whatever coaching moment we did for the truth slap. Does that resonate, not resonate, or how do you see it? And if they say it does, okay, well, what about that resonates? Like, why does it land for you? I'm gonna get them to double down and explain why the perspective that I just introduced, why the concept, why the truth slap that I just gave them, I want them to tell me, why does it resonate? And at that point, they have taken it on and we've actually had a challenging conversation. We've shared a new perspective, we've shared a new angle, we've introduced a new concept or idea, and we've been very direct, but done it in a way that was soft. So that's the first skill, being able to ask for permission and share perspectives and really challenge people's perspectives. The second skill is stress testing and clarifying vague language. This is one of the biggest symptoms I see is if I hear, I review sales calls all the time, and often I'll hear the prospects say things very vague. I'll get there eventually. Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, I kind of want to do it. All this vague language. And I can see a people-pleasing salesperson miles away because when they hear it, they do absolutely nothing about it. They don't clarify it, they don't ask about it. And the reason is if they're people-pleasing hard in their own life, that language, that way of operating makes sense to them. They're like, yeah, that's fine. I'm kind of the same. So that's why it's so difficult to sell as a people-pleaser, is because the behaviors of vagueness that you see in your prospects, yeah, that's normal, that's chill. I can tell you it's not normal, it's not chill for people who really want to dominate in life, people who really want to evolve and grow. They are very clear in their language and they don't accept vagueness, they value clarity, right? And so what could that look like? Let's give you guys like an example. So prospect, let's say we ask about a timeline. Like, yeah, I want to do it sooner rather than later. Okay, sounds good. Salesperson moves to the next question. What? Like, no. Like, if you ask a question, it's because you were looking for an outcome. You didn't just ask it for fun. Like, there's a reason why you asked the question. So if someone says sooner rather than later, then I'm gonna need to stress test that and clarify. Okay, well, John, when you say sooner rather than later, that means different things to different people. Are we talking days out, weeks out? Are you years out from taking action if this is a fit? Like, when, in other words, when do you ideally actually want to get to XYZ result? I'm gonna flip that on them and give them some options. And then if they can't answer it, then we're gonna have to have another honest conversation about why can't they answer it and what's stopping them from answering that. Because if they can't even answer that, you're cooked. You've already got an objection just sitting there waiting for you at the end. Yeah, it's not our timeline, we're just gonna do it later. But it's your fault as the salesperson if you tolerate that vagueness and you get caught off guard at the end, like, oh my God, I got an objection. It's like, well, vague language in the discovery leads to vague results in the decision at the end of the call. Vague language in the discovery from your prospect is going to lead to vague results, AKA think about it, AKA delay at the end of the call. It's not a surprise, right? It's just a mirror of their inner world. But it's on you to not be a people pleaser and to actually address those moments, to hear them and go in on it. Now, skill number 3 is interjection. And I'm gonna do another video on this where I go way deeper on it, because I've seen that this is a core skill that, in my mind, distinguishes, are you a people pleasing sales rep? Or are you more of a direct challenger sales rep? Are you willing to challenge people? Those who don't interject on sales calls or who can't interject, I actually feel bad for you guys. I don't want to say you can't interject because that's fixed language in my own language, but you haven't yet learned how to do it or implemented it. I feel bad for you guys because that is a rough existence to be on calls, 6, 7 calls a day and not know how to interject. That's like exhausting, and it's people pleasing. Like, you're just like hearing stuff all day that you know is not relevant, and you don't interject and you don't know how to do that, and you just have to listen to it. That's insane. I can tell you guys that on every single team that I've been on, I was one of the only reps who could do this at a high level, and I was always training other reps how to interject, because if they didn't, they just get completely cooked. I can give you one example of interjection right here, which is a compliment interjection, and I go into it more inside of Remote Sales Secrets. So if you haven't joined the free school, this would be a good time to do so. Link is in the comments down below. You can go take a look. But one example of interjection would be the compliment interjection, which is like, hey John, you mentioned something really important there, and I thought you said that incredibly well, but I do want to go deeper into something. Is it okay if we dive into that? Bang, cooked, in. Like, I will snipe with interjections. And it comes back to a whole other skill set of active listening, which we'll do in another video, but you need to be able to hear the opportunity. You need to be able to see the opportunity to take the interjection. That's the other skill. And we'll go into that in another video. But guys, just to wrap this up, people pleasing in sales and in life is not kind at all. It's actually one of the worst behaviors. And I know that because I did it, and it caused so much chaos inside of sales calls, inside of my own personal life. It costs self-respect, it costs peace, it costs pretty much everything, and it doesn't benefit you or your prospects. So the fix to this isn't becoming an overly aggressive asshole, right? It's learning to be direct and caring at the same time. When you can learn how to I am both direct and caring at the same time, then you are going to completely evolve as a human being, right? Because you're gonna be able to do that with your friends, with your family, with your prospects, and they will respect you for it. I guarantee it. Now, I want you to reframe yourself, right? You're in sales. You are out there reframing your prospects, but oftentimes we need to reframe ourselves. So this is a time to move from being a product pusher to becoming someone who helps and creates clarity for your prospects. So when you operate from that place, you serve your prospects way better, and you're finally gonna stop betraying yourself on your calls. Finally stop getting off those calls all pissed off, feeling like, man, I know I should have said that. Leave it on the field. Leave it on the field. And if you're one of those ones who's maybe struggled with people pleasing, one of the things that I give to my reps is if you get a complaint, I will give you $100. Since I don't know you, I'm not giving you $100, but if you get a complaint and you actually piss someone off on your sales call, I'll be proud of you. Not because I want to get a complaint, but because if you have struggled with people pleasing, it's good to go there and see that you didn't die, and just show yourself that you can actually go to that side. So get in the arena, go test these skills, reframe your mindset, and watch how your sales absolutely explode. Now guys, if this resonated, like, subscribe, follow for more. Money Magnet Mason here. I will see you in the next one where we will be diving into the art of interjection. That's it. We'll see you later. Deuces.